Human, listen to me. I will now give you two choices. You can either remain here and bleed out until your life comes to a tragic and abrupt end, or you can pledge your life to me, and in return, I shall grant you eternal life. You see, I'm a vampire, and I'm asking you to become my servant. I'm sure you're very confused. You likely don't even know what being my servant means. But in your position, I don't think you have any other choice. To make you my servant, all I need is your consent. You don't need to speak, just say yes in your own mind, and I will know that you accept the terms of my contract. If you can give me that, then I can save your life. So what will it be? Will you simply lay down and die? Or will you join me and live a life like no other? What an interesting book, full of so many different twists and turns. I should probably go back to the mansion. I've had enough for now. Wait, is there someone outside the door? Oh, hello there. This is unexpected. I usually don't encounter other students this late. They'll be locking the doors soon, so you'd best make your way off school grounds. What am I doing here so late? I was just reading my book. It's quite interesting. I'd recommend it if only it were available in stores. Anyway, now it's your turn to tell me. What are you doing here? And why were you watching me while I was reading my book? What are you looking so flustered for? Don't tell me. You were watching me because you find me intriguing? You wouldn't be the first. People do say my aura is quite strong. Why, yes. Everyone has an aura, including you. I'd say your aura is blue, the color of sadness. You dislike your life, don't you? I find that quite unfortunate, because my life is one I consider quite amazing. I truly hope that you find your happiness one day. You want to know what book I was reading? Well, you see, it doesn't actually have a name. Most of the books I read don't. They're not the kind you can easily obtain in bookstores or libraries. They're special. They contain knowledge that most humans would consider taboo. What about you? Do you like books? I see. I myself am quite an avid reader. Just this afternoon, I read about 5 books, each of them about the length of a typical Harry Potter novel. You don't believe me, do you? I guess I can't really prove it. After all, any regular human would be unable to accomplish such a feat. I realize now that I may have told you a bit too much. Forgive me. It's just, you're the first person at the school I've managed to have a decent conversation with. I couldn't help but let slip some information. I guess it's okay if you know about the nameless books, but I'd better not tell you any more than that. You are very intriguing, though. You have the most unique aura I've seen in years. Perhaps, could it be? Are you a mythical being? A werewolf, maybe? Of course I'm joking. There's no such things as mythical beings. That's why we call them mythical, after all. In any case, I think it's best we both leave the school grounds for now. The doors will be locked soon. I do hope we meet again. Farewell, friend.
At long last, I've found a human to devour. It's been far too long. I've been wandering this area looking for humans to feed on, but I never found an opportunity to catch one alone. You, however, have no one with you at all. No witnesses, no evidence, no problems. When I'm done with you, you'll vanish without a trace. Who am I? I'm so glad you asked. I am a vampire, and you are my next meal. Ooh, look at all that glorious blood. My mouth is watering. This is perfect. Oh. Now that's some delicious blood. You are quite the specimen. I thank you for your sacrifice. I'm afraid this is goodbye. At least you'll die knowing there's beings like me in the world. Isn't it exciting to know something like that? Most people go their whole lives without encountering a vampire. I'd say you should consider yourself lucky.
Damn. It seems I got here too late. I'm sorry that I couldn't help you. You've lost too much blood. I'd say you've only got about 30 seconds or so until you lose consciousness and die. There'd be no point in calling an ambulance, or even tending to your wounds myself. Without a doubt, these are your final moments. No regular human survives a vampire attack. But I didn't just come here to watch you die. I came because I want to make a deal. Human, listen to me. I will now give you two choices. You can either remain here and bleed out until your life comes to a tragic and abrupt end, or you can pledge your life to me, and in return, I shall grant you eternal life. You see, I'm a vampire, and I'm asking you to become my servant. I'm sure you're very confused. You likely don't even know what being my servant means. But in your position, I don't think you have any other choice. To make you my servant, all I need is your consent. You don't need to speak, just say yes in your own mind, and I will know that you accept the terms of my contract. If you can give me that, then I can save your life. So what will it be? Will you simply lay down and die? Or will you join me and live a life like no other? Good. I knew you'd make the right choice. Pardon the intrusion. I will now perform the ritual. I'm about to bite you. With it, you will die, and be reborn as something far greater than any human. And with that, the process is complete. Your destiny has been sealed. I am now your master, and from this point onward, you will live for my sake. Good morning, sleepyhead. Did you rest well? Why are you panicking? Surely you recognize me. What am I doing in your bed? Well, after last night, I had to carry you home. And I figured that instead of returning to my mansion to sleep, I should just sleep in your bed instead. I understand that such a thing is considered scandalous in regular human society, but as your master, it's more than normal for me to do things like this with a servant. And don't worry, sleeping next to you was all I did. No, what you experienced last night was not a dream. You really were attacked by a vampire, and you really did almost die, and you really did become my servant. I do not want you to worry, though. All of this may seem quite scary at first, but the life of a vampire servant is not a bad one at all. In fact, you could even say that your life's about to get a lot more exciting. I think it's about time I properly introduced myself. I'm Cassius. I'm a vampire lord. I'm also your master from now on. You will be required to do anything I tell you to do, but don't worry yourself too much. I won't make you do anything that goes against your nature. I'll take good care of you and ensure you live the best life you possibly can. I have more to tell you, but we should get ready for school. Wouldn't want to be late now, would we? Would you look at that? Everyone in the schoolyard is staring at us. Why don't you give them a wave? What's wrong? You look so shy. It's adorable. I suppose it makes sense that people are intrigued. We both came to the school together, and they probably think we're a couple. And since I happen to be rather popular at this institution, they like making a big deal out of it. I bet all the girls are jealous of you. How about we give them a little show? Here, let's hold hands. Now that we're holding hands, they're all panicking. Aren't humans just delightful? It's time for class now. This is where we part ways. I'll see you on the roof at lunchtime. Isn't it just beautiful up here? This place has just the most wonderful aura. You go ahead and eat. I don't need anything. Vampires of my rank don't need to eat regular human food very often. So instead, I'll just read this book. Oh, right. You were curious about these books before, weren't you? I'm sure you can recall that I mentioned that these books aren't available in any bookstore or library. This is true. In fact, these books don't even have an author. They're created using magic. However, despite not being written by a person, these books are far more detailed than anything a human could ever write. They deal with complex topics that many would struggle to comprehend. They explore the deepest parts of the human psyche. They provide social commentaries on concepts both new and old. No two books are alike, and some of the things you discover in these books are things you'd never see in your wildest dreams. It's as if these books were written by the universe itself. If you ever have the time, I'd recommend you try one. It'll open your mind in a way you never thought possible. Is there anything else you'd like to know about vampires? I'm sure you've got plenty of questions. Yes. Good question. Yes, many vampires do kill their victims. But they don't have to. Given enough self-restraint, drinking blood can easily be done without ending the target's life. As for me, well, I don't like to see humans die without a reason. After all, that's part of the reason why I saved you. Anything else? Yes, other supernatural beings do exist. Werewolves, witches, even angels and demons. This world is home to all manner of beings. Such an exciting world, isn't it? Anyway, you've asked enough. Now I've got a question for you. Please answer honestly. What do you think of me? Yes, I want to know what your impression of me is. It's an odd question, I know, but I'm very curious. You've held back expressing your own opinion as of thus far. Perhaps you're too afraid of me. If that's the case, then that's no good. You're not supposed to be afraid of your master. We're going to be together for a very long time, servant. So I want to know what you think of me so far. I'm talking about any and all aspects. Do I come across as charming to you? Or am I intimidating? Do you think I look attractive? Or do you think I look like a troglodyte? Be honest with me, servant. Do you like me? Or do you detest me? Never mind. Don't answer that question. I'll just tell you this. I happen to like you very much. You're just my type. If you hate me, then I'll just have to make you love me. I'll do whatever it takes to gain your affection. And if worst comes to worst, I can force you to like me. I do have my ways. I could, perhaps, use a magical order on you, in which case you'd be forced to do exactly as I command, even if that command is to love me. It would be the most efficient method, since it's physically impossible to defy a magical order. But let's hope it doesn't come to that. I wouldn't want to make a habit of doing such things, since giving a magical order consumes an awful lot of blood. I hope that next time I ask you this question, you'll have an answer prepared. But in the meantime, let's get to know each other, okay? Here we are. This is my mansion. This is also your home now. Make yourself comfortable. Are you all right? You look a little pale. Don't tell me you're still frightened of me. I'm your master, and you're my servant. That does not mean I will treat you harshly. You're simply to live alongside me and serve me, to provide companionship, to assist me in combat against the mythical creatures. With proper training, you'll be more than prepared. Perhaps I'll give you some training now. Well, not training, but rather useful advice. Throughout our time together, we may get in many fights with many powerful entities. It's possible that, at some point, we will be the ones at a disadvantage. However, a battle is won not only through strength, but through bluffing. If you can convince your opponent that you're stronger than them, even when you're not, you can cause them to back down and give up. If you remember that, I can guarantee it will save your life someday. In fact, if we're ever both in that situation and I want you to bluff, I'll wink at you. That'll be my signal. Does that sound good? Excellent. I may have figured out why you look so pale. I think it is because you haven't drank any blood yet. Have you forgotten? You're a vampire servant. That means you're a vampire too. It's time for us to go out on a trip. It's dark out, so if we find a victim out on their own, it'll be easy for us to take them on without being seen. Grab your coat. It's time to go hunting. Look over there. It's a human. I'll handle this. There. He's knocked out now. It's safe. This will be your first time drinking from a human. It's an important time for you, but don't worry. It'll be easy once you know what you're doing. All you have to do is place your fangs on his neck and suck the blood out of him. It'll come to you by instinct. Well, what are you waiting for? You're frightened, Of what? It's not like we're killing him. I understand your fear, but it's an irrational one. You need blood to survive, my darling. This is something you need to do. We cannot leave until you drink his blood. I know I may seem harsh, and I hate to force you to do something you don't like, but this is for the sake of your own survival. Only a negligent master would allow his servants to die of bloodthirst. This is what's best for you.
If you two aren't going to drink his blood, may I have him?
Who's there?
My, what a surprise. The human I thought I killed is actually still alive. But no longer a human, I see. Yes. You've become one of us now. But even so, I can't stand the fact that someone I attacked managed to get away. You see, my clan prides itself on killing all of its victims. If my peers heard I'd let you escape, Well, I never hear the end of it.
What are you here for?
I'm here to kill your servant, and you can't stop me.
Oh, really? You and what army? I'm a powerful vampire. I can take you down easily.
Nice bluff, but I see through it. Yes, you're usually a powerful vampire, but your skin's paler than normal. It's been a while since your last drink, hasn't it? That means you'll be weaker.
I can still defeat the likes of you.
Oh, really? Well then, take this. Just one punch is enough to throw you into disarray. You're even weaker than I thought.
What the hell? What is this? I feel like I'm about to faint.
Just how long has it been since your last drink?
A very long time. This wasn't supposed to happen, though. I was going to get another drink. But then, I missed my chance.
Could you be talking about? No way. Your servant. That night, you were stalking them home, weren't you? You were going to drink their blood. But I attacked first before you could.
That's right. But I would have never killed them. Whereas you didn't hesitate to drain them dry.
Well, you certainly can't fight me in this condition. Looks like this fight is already over. Hell, I bet if the wind hits you the wrong way, you'll probably go down.
I suppose you're right, but it's not over yet. You greatly underestimate my willpower.
What could you possibly do in this situation?
Throughout our time together, we may get in many fights with many powerful entities. It's possible that, at some point, we will be the ones at a disadvantage. However, a battle is won not only through strength, but through bluffing. If you can convince your opponent that you're stronger than them, even when you're not, you can cause them to back down and give up. If you remember that, I can guarantee it will save your life someday. Servant, the time has come for me to give you your first order.
Wait, what? You're doing that now?
Do not be mistaken. These orders are not simply commands that I give you. These are magical orders, which physically cannot be disobeyed. Once I give you this order, you will follow it without question, even if you resist it with every fiber of your being. Do not be scared. Accept it into your heart. Follow it without hesitation, and fulfill your master's will. Ready? Good. I, Cassius Arundelius, command you. Use your vampiric strength to kill this vampire.
There's no way. That's suicide. Giving your servant a magical order consumes an enormous amount of blood, and you barely have any left. You'll die. Damn you.
As a master, I may be weak in my current state, but it doesn't matter how strong or weak a servant is. If a servant is given the order to defeat someone, they will accomplish it by any means necessary, even if it means going beyond their physical limits. In that sense, servants are far stronger than their masters if they're used right.
But giving that order will consume the last of your blood. You'll definitely die after this. Why would you throw away your life so easily?
I already know I'm going to lose this battle and die. So if I'm going to die, I shall happily take you with me.
All right, you little brat of a servant. I'll show you the power of a truly great vampire. Ow! No! Stop biting me!
Are you going to run away?
Well, I suppose I have no other choice. You gave your servant the order to kill me. If I don't leave now, I'll definitely die.
That's good work you did there. I'm glad you caught on so easily. I told you earlier that if I wink at you during a fight, that means I want you to bluff. I wasn't actually sure if you were going to catch on so quickly, but I suppose you did. And the truth is, I never gave you a magical order. I only pretended to. After all, giving an actual magical order would have killed me, since I don't have enough blood to make that transaction. But that's not what matters. What matters is that our enemy thought I'd given you a magical order. Because of that, he retreated in fear of his life. And it only worked because you played along and pretended you were under my influence. I'm proud of you, servant. You've done very well. You've taken your first step towards becoming a truly capable vampire. You've not only met my expectations, you've surpassed them. I think you deserve a reward. Close your eyes for me, won't you? I can kiss you more if you continue to perform well. Perhaps that'll be an incentive for you. In any case, we must address the task at hand. I was going to have you drink the blood of that man on the ground there. However, on second thought, you don't have to. I was being too forceful, and I apologize. I should have taken your feelings into consideration. You'll eventually have to learn to drink blood, but that time does not have to be now. There are more pleasant ways to ease you into it. As your master, it is my responsibility to keep you healthy, yes, but it's also my responsibility to keep you happy. And if forcing you to drink blood will make you unhappy, then I'll just have to find another way. What? You want to try drinking from him? Well, this is a surprise. You've changed your mind, then. That is excellent. Go on ahead. Bare your fangs and approach his neck. Then, your instincts will guide you the rest of the way. That's it. Now drink. You look like you enjoyed that. You're hooked on it now, aren't you? Blood truly is the most delicious elixir known to man. You've done very well today, servant. Let's return to the mansion. There's still much more for you to learn, and your journey has only just begun.